and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, after yet another wonderful weekend for Barca. And we're going to be talking so much more about that thrilling victory against Sevilla by 4-1. We're going to be discussing the defensive impact from that game and what we're seeing right now from so many of our defenders, including Ronald Araujo, though. Discussion here on that injury to him, but also on his performances and place in this team. We're also going to be discussing potential criticism for Lamine Yamal. Is that really justified? Is that really happening right now? And also coming up today, the full situation ever developing surrounding Ansu Fati. That is all coming up for you guys. I hope you're watching right now with a big smile on your face. So come on, and let's do this. Now today's video, guys, is coming to you courtesy of SofaScore, and I would invite you to download the SofaScore app, head over there, check out the La Liga table, because it is getting better and better for Barca right now, and we are closing that gap, and it's getting very exciting. We are piling the pressure on those above us right now. And of course on SofaScore as well, you can check out the very latest player ratings, all the latest scores on your phone, and not just football, every possible sport that you could imagine. Because last night, of course, I'm sure many of you enjoyed the Super Bowl. What a victory it was for the Eagles. Absolutely emphatic, slamming the door on the three-peat. So if you would like to download the SofaScore app, really help out the channel. It's free there. The link is in the description for you. That would be a big help indeed, guys. Because like I say, it was a vital weekend for Barca. Make no mistake about that. And what we're also going to see now this week is the benefit of us performing very well in the Champions League. Because we are already through to the round of 16, we don't have this playoff match. We've got a completely free week ahead. Whereas, for instance, Real Madrid, they've got a tricky game. They've got a test there against Man City. Real Madrid right now have real injury concerns already, and now they've got another game to contend with here. And all the while, we're right behind them. We are staring them down. We are gunning for them here, and we will not let up. And let's talk about Inigo Martinez. Let's talk about his performance, his attitude, and his words after the final whistle yesterday. Because immediately there after the game, he said, if somebody thought that we was dead in La Liga, well, let me tell them now, we are very much alive. And that is the feeling that you get right throughout this squad right now. There is a hunger, there is a genuine belief, even when we were getting some bad results in La Liga, even when we were on that bad run, everybody still seemed focused though. Everybody still seemed to have that inner self-belief that, okay, we can come through this, we can get out of this, and we can still win this league title. And that attitude has not changed. And let me tell you right now, what sums up Inigo Martinez and this whole team is what happened in the 92nd minute of the game. The score's 4-1, the game is won, he makes a phenomenal sliding block, and then look what happens. He gets up from that block, and he absolutely roars there. He is screaming, celebrating that block, celebrating that intervention, and then Szczesny joins in, and the whole team is pumped up. This is what it's about. This is what playing in a Hansi Flick team, in a Hansi Flick squad is all about. You play every minute, you play hard, you play for each other, and you celebrate these moments as a team there. And I just thought that was the embodiment of this Hansi Flick team. And it was a really special moment to come through that game, down to 10 men, bit of adversity, tough away stadium to go to. We battled through and got a vital win. And Inigo Martinez, every week, guys, this guy impresses me. I talk about him regularly here on the channel because I'm just so impressed. He's 33 years old and he is playing by far and away the best football of his career. He is absolutely phenomenal there in terms of his attitude, his intensity every game, his reading of the game is absolutely phenomenal. And look at that back line. Yesterday, Inigo Martinez got an assist. Kubasi got an assist as well. Eric García went forward. He got himself a goal. They're all contributing in every single area of the field. And it's stunning, which is where it gets interesting, because then we talk about the Ronald Araujo situation. Now, first of all, guys, the most important thing here is the injury concern, and believe me, I feared the worst. You know, when he went down, when he was rolling around, when he was in pain there, then subbed off, of course, it did not look good for Araujo, and even on the bench, of course, he was very, very upset. But the fantastic news is there is no serious injury. There is no real injury at all. It was mainly about contact. It was mainly there about impact. It wasn't a good challenge. It was late there from Saul, but it was only a significant bruising, really, on the ankle, and there is no injury there. So right now, Araujo is going to try and get back for the next game, of course, against Rayo Vallecano in La Liga. He's hopeful for that, but we will wait and see. But nothing serious as it stands. That is great news. But I think we have to talk more about Araujo's place in this team right now. I was personally not surprised that he started yesterday, but I think when he did, you know, there was a little bit of uncertainty there. And I just think right now, when you look at the performances of Inigo, of García, of course, and now even with Eric García, you've got to kind of admit Araujo is not an automatic starter. You know, I know that he's back fit and I know that he's available, and of course he wants to be in the team and we want him to be at his absolute best. But given how well those others have done, you know, how well they've adapted and to this system, Araujo doesn't walk into this team anymore. I think right now he needs to learn the offside trap, and not just learn it as well, by the way. You've got to perfect it. It has to be absolutely perfect, because this is a system right here with the offside line, with that back line. It's either perfect or it's failed. There is no in between, you know, there's no margin for error at all. And obviously, to learn that system though, you do have to play. You do have to have minutes in there. You have to establish there some partnerships at the centre of defence. And obviously right here, I think we've got to pick our moments with Araujo. We've got to look at games whereby it might be a little easier for him. The transition there might be a little more simple against maybe teams who are not so rapid in behind, who are not really going to exploit it as much, just to give him that time to adapt to the system, because he's just not quite there. He's not quite as advanced as Inigo, as Kubasi, and also as Eric García. But let me just say, guys, I'd like to say here, great moment though in yesterday's game from the bench. After Araujo though went off injured, after Fermin Lopez's red, Gavi was there and he was going for the officials. He was absolutely losing it there, and it took Araujo literally having to hold Gavi back, saying, listen, you're already on a yellow. He was saying to him there, you've already been booked. You know, don't go there. And he had to sort of control Gavi, do his best to control Gavi. But like, look, that's great leadership. And that is what we want to see there. Gavi, heart on the sleeve, never, ever going to back down, is he? But then we do move on to the ever-pressing issue of the Ansu Fati situation. Because look, guys, before this game, you know, this weekend, in the press conference there from Hansi Flick, we thought maybe there was a little bit of hope for Ansu Fati there. Flick spoke before the game about the fact that he was starting to do more of what was asked from him in the training sessions there. Maybe he was closer to returning to the squad, but of course in the end he was left out again. There was absolutely no change in that from Ansu Fati there. He was left behind, did not feature at all against Sevilla in the squad. And I think when you're looking at the squad though, you know, you're looking at the bench that you're able to sort of choose from and pick there. Where does he come in? You know, with so many players fit, so many players available, it's brilliant for the squad, but, you know, who are you going to take out? Because you're looking at it yesterday, obviously Ansu, he's disappointed not to be in the squad, but you've got somebody there like Ferran Torres, who's got a hat-trick in the last game. He's got a hat-trick, didn't even get on in this game, and that is the standard right now. That is where we're at in the squad. Pablo Torre is not even getting minutes. Pau Victor is not even appearing as well. So it's not only difficult for Ansu Fati right now, it's difficult for so many more players because of the quality that we're seeing, because of the consistency, and it is not easy to get in this squad and to get in the team, and that is the way that it should be. Competition should be very, very high, keep everybody on their toes, but is there a way back in? Is there an opening somewhere for Ansu right now? Well, after the game, Hansi Flick was asked about it again. He's often asked about Ansu, the situation, his feeling right now on it, and he said, look, it's a technical decision. It's a decision really that I've got to make. He said, I have already spoken to him very honestly, very frankly. He said he is working, he's getting closer, he is getting closer to the team, he's on the right track, and I've seen a lot of moments from him where he's at his best. that's the level that we are trying to reach again. And from that I take there that Ansu, he is actually moving closer to returning, but it's about moments right now. You may be seeing flashes in training of him at his best, maybe a few moments here and there, but we need to see it more consistently, maybe in those training sessions. But in terms of effort, I think it's great to see here today that even despite the squad being given 3 days off, Flick giving the squad there some real time to recover and kind of enjoy this midweek break, Ansu Fati, though, was in for training. He was there working on his day off, along with, as well, Fermin, Lewandowski, Szczesny. He's always in on his days off there. Christensen as well, recovering from injury right now. Peña was there too, maybe, trying to prove a point. Ferran as well, and Dani Olmo. All of those players coming in on their day off, and that is always great to see. Players can have some downtime. They're very, very entitled to go and enjoy these days off. Have some time with their family, do some other things, but it is also still great to see players coming in, committing, and ultimately showing that hard work. But let's talk, guys, about Lamine Yamal right here, because honestly, I guess I'm always surprised when I come away from a game, and especially one where Barca win, and yet there is some criticism towards Lamine Yamal and his performances there. And I always think, it's really quite harsh, because at the end of the day, you can't escape the fact that he is still 17 years old. And it's almost as though, again, you've seen this with many, many great players, really great players in the past, whereby they've set the bar so incredibly high, the standards are so high now, that anything below that, it's going to suddenly lead to unwarranted criticism in many ways. And maybe that's what we're seeing right now with Lamine Yamal. People are quite eager to jump on him, if there is any drop-off, if maybe he's not making the right decisions, when to dribble, when to pass, when to do tricks, all of this kind of stuff. But I would also just say about that, it's not only about the fact that he's young, it's about the fact that he's still going to be learning. If anything, at this age, there will be times whereby he actually needs to make a mistake. He actually needs to maybe do things and be corrected. You need to make a mistake in order to learn. And we shouldn't ever forget here that at this age, with the amount of football that he's playing, he is learning every single minute that he's out there. And even yesterday, he's still dangerous. Even if it wasn't his best performance there, even if it did dip below the kind of levels and expectations that we expect of Yamal, there's a reason why he stayed out there, because he can always be a threat, because he's, of course, taking players away. You can't forget that either. There's always 1, 2, maybe even 3 players around Yamal, always keeping an eye on him. And what does that do? That frees up space there for other players like Fermin, who can come in and just escape that kind of attention, and he's free to score a goal. So Yamal, he's always impactful, he's always a threat when he's on the field, and ultimately that's why we see him left out there. And I do still feel, though, at times, guys, and it's still a real concern of mine this season, that I believe we can still do more to protect him, to ultimately there just give him a little bit more rest at times. We're still seeing him play huge amounts of minutes at 17 years old. Of course the media, of course all the people there, they've got to give him a break, but I think it's also up to the club here and Hansi Flick just to make sure that we're always giving Yamal the required amount of rest and not overburdening him, because he has played so much football, so many minutes. In that time, you're always going to get peaks, you're always going to get troughs, but I think overall, absolutely nobody can argue with the talent of this young man. Nobody can argue with the quality that he's shown right throughout this season so far. And for sure, after one sort of not even bad game here, this should not be criticism of him. So those there, guys, are some of my thoughts following yet another important weekend, another really important win for Barca. And please let me know, guys, in the comments down below, what are you feeling right now? How does this weekend feel for you? Does it feel like a significant moment in terms of the title race? And let me know your thoughts on everything we have discussed today, from Ronald Araujo to Ansu Fati and to Lamine Yamal as well, guys. Please also don't forget to download the SofaScore app using the link that is in the description. That will be much, much appreciated indeed. And I will see all of you very, very soon. Thank you indeed, guys. But until next time, as always, Vesca, Real Barça.